In this reading is written to the Christians in Corinth, and Paul has been talking about how to live as a follower of Christ. Different things about different gifts and stuff like this. And now in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, he writes about the highest way. This is what he says, or writes. And now I will show you a still more excellent way. If I can speak with the tongue of men and angels, but I have not love, I'm a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers, and I can understand all mysteries and knowledge, and if I have so much faith that I can move mountains, but I don't have love, I am nothing. If I give away everything that I have, and I deliver my body up as a martyr to be burned, but I have not love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. As for prophecies, they will pass away. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will pass away. Because now we know in part and we prophesy in part, but when the perfect comes, the partial passes away. When I was a child, I spoke like a child and thought like a child and reasoned like a child. But when I became a man, I gave up childish ways. Now we see in a mirror dimly, but then we will see face to face. Now I know in part, but then I shall know fully, even as I have been fully known. And so now these three remain, faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. So love has been a subject of so many songs and writings and everything. I thought I would start with just a few things that different people have said about love. The Jay Giles Band said, "Love stinks," if you recall. However, the Beatles said, "All you need is love." And I think Charles Schultz did the Beatles one better. He said, "All you need is love, but a little chocolate now and then doesn't hurt." Henry Ward Beecher said, "We never know the love of a parent until we become parents ourselves." I think that's really, really true. At least it's true for me. Martin Luther King said, "I've decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear." Thomas Aquinas said this. He's one of the great theological thinkers. He said, "The things that we love tell us what we are." So thinking about the kind of things we love will help us understand who we are and what's really going on in our heart. Mother Teresa said, spread love everywhere you go. Let no one ever come to you without leaving happier." I like that. I like that a lot. And then John Rollison said, "Love is death." That's me. And I'm going to explain to you how love is death, and how death is life, and how that's what Jesus came to show us. So I took a survey, and I asked people, what's one thing you've learned about love? And they had several different kind of things. It can be disappointing and all this kind of stuff. But to sum it up, basically, most people had learned about love, that love is an action, and it's not always easy. And I thought that was actually a pretty good thing. It's nice to know people understand about what love is. And just to be clear, there's different kinds of love, right? We talk about love is a word of wide variety of uses. We talk about love for pizza. I do love pizza, as a matter of fact. We talk about love for our pets, love for our children, love for our spouse, and love for God. And they're all different kinds of love. And so the love we're going for here is the love that in the Greek word for it, many of you know, is agape. And it's the love that God calls us to live out. That's what we're exploring today. What is this love that God calls us to live out? We're not talking about the romantic, Christian kind of love or any other kind of love. What we're talking about is the love that the Christian is called to live out. And so that's where we're going today. The first thing I would say that we could take from this survey, because they're right, is that love in the Christian context results in action. Love is a verb, not a noun. Love changes the way you do things. Jesus even said this. He was talking about entering the kingdom of God. And there's a entering the kingdom of God has sort of an earthly meaning where you're entering into a life of deeper righteousness, peace, and joy in the Holy Spirit. Entering the kingdom of God also has kind of the heavenly meaning, right, of going to heaven where there's no more sorrow, sickness, suffering, pain, or death. And Jesus, I think, is talking about both, but today I want to think about it in terms of that earthly context of what the kingdom of God is. And the scriptures say the kingdom of God is righteousness, peace, and joy. And that sounds like a pretty good life to me. Righteousness, peace, and joy. And so Jesus said this to his followers. He said, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. And so Jesus is reminding us that it's not just your words that matter. Words are empty, and the actions complete what your words say, you think, and believe about life, about the world, about what life means, about what other people are in the world. So it kind of comes down to your actions. In fact, Jesus, in a different part, in Luke, was very, very clear. How many of you have kind of almost wanted to say this to your children? He said, why do you call me Lord and not do what I tell you? Very simple. Why? See, because the definition of having a Lord is someone you follow when your idea of what to do is one thing and your Lord's idea of what to do is another thing. To have a Lord is to do what the Lord says. Back a million years ago, when I was working in industrial engineering, I did some estimates for a job. And I took them into my boss, and my boss looked at them. And see, this is the problem with being an optimist, is as I thought we could get this done really fast. I took the estimates into my boss, and he handed it back to me and he said, double everything. Double everything, in case you couldn't hear what I said because I was laughing so hard. I had underestimated in his estimation by 50%. So, what do you think I did? I did what my boss said, right? Because that's what it means to have a boss. So if you're going to claim Jesus as your Lord, as your boss, Jesus says, why do you call me your boss and not do what I tell you? What would my boss have done if I would have not changed the numbers and given it to the director of our division without following his direction? I think the results would have not been pleasant for me. First it would have been unpleasant for him, and then it would have trickled down to me. So love in the Christian context is action, and it's action wrapped up in following the way Jesus says life is supposed to be lived. And love in the Christian context is a natural outgrowth of faith, hope, and love. See, those three things roll off the tongue so easy. Love in the Christian context is a natural outgrowth of faith and hope. So faith, we talked about 3 weeks ago, because we had a guest in the middle of that. So faith is trust in God, in what God is doing, and what God has done, and how God thinks and feels about us, because God has revealed himself in the person and work of Jesus Christ. That's what faith really is. And faith even says, I'm going to look at the world and I am going to see everything through the lens of Jesus, even if it doesn't seem right in the moment. I am choosing to look at the world through the lens of Jesus. That's what faith is. But choosing to look at the world through the lens of Jesus is necessarily choosing hope, because we know things like all things work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose. We don't see that all the time. I can't tell you how many times I've wanted to say, how are you going to work this for good? But that's the promise. And that's the choice of faith, is to choose to look at things that are happening and say, God will work this for good because he's promised. I can't see how. On Good Friday, after Jesus died, if the apostles had actually had this word from Jesus, they didn't until later because God gave it to them. If they had been thinking all things work together for good, I am quite sure they would have been in a room together after Jesus' death, saying, how are you going to work just for good? And what happened? 2 days later, Easter Sunday, the resurrection. The worst thing that ever happened, the death of the innocent Son of God, Jesus Christ, turned into the best thing that ever happened, the breaking of the very chains of death. And that's where our hope comes from. That's our faith, and out of that faith comes hope in every circumstance. And out of faith and hope grow this compulsion, this willingness, this desire to act in love. Love in the Christian context is a natural outgrowth of faith and hope. Paul writes to the Corinthian Christians, Christ's love compels us because we are convinced that one died for all and therefore all died. It's faith and hope that draw that love out of us, even against our own will. Like, okay, I'll be kind. Fine. There are instances like that. Let me be clear. Jesus said that love toward those, love is love. Wait, that's good. The greatest love, this is, oh, the good thing I didn't skip this because this is leading to my crazy quote that love is death. The greatest love, Jesus says, is giving oneself for another. He told his disciples, greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends. What more could you do than give your very life? What more could you possibly do than give your life for those you love? Now, Jesus said, love is toward those who reciprocate, who do not reciprocate it, or it's no big deal at all. Now, let's stop here for a moment. Love is toward those who do not reciprocate, or it's no big deal at all. Here's what Jesus said. You've heard it. I'm sorry the print's so small, but I needed to get that on there. You've heard it said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I'm saying, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, so that you may be sons of your Father in heaven. For if you love those who love you, what reward do you have? Don't even tax collectors do the same thing? In other words, let's think back to 1 Corinthians 13. If you are kind to those who are kind to you, woo! That's really great. Oh gosh. That's what I'm being the sarcastic Jesus. If you are kind to those who are kind to you, no big deal. Love is kind to those who are not kind to you. If you are patient with those whose spirit naturally calls out that patient heart in you, and there are people like that, wow, big deal. Love is patient toward those who don't naturally draw that patient heart out of you, and there are those people around you too. Love is patient, love is kind, love is not jealous, not boastful, not rude, not self-seeking, and on down the line. Love is toward those who don't reciprocate, to those who you are not naturally loving, or it's no love at all. Because everybody is nice to people who are nice to them. Everybody's patient with people who are patient with them. If you are going to be part of Jesus changing the world, you are going to be kind to people who are not kind to you. You are going to be patient with people who don't deserve patience. You're going to be loving to people who call out the very opposite from your heart. That's what God is calling us to do. That's what God is calling us to be in this world through the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Now, we're getting toward the idea that love is death. Love is death. There is no love without pain, not if it's real love. Even the romantic love is not without pain. You guys all know this. But the love that the Bible is talking about is definitely love that includes pain. Because it's kind of painful. It can be painful, at least in the beginning, to try to be kind to people who don't naturally want kindness. It can be painful in the beginning to be patient with people who have in no way deserved any patience from you. Those things can be painful. Mother Teresa said, I have found, this is what Mother Teresa learned in her life, I have found the paradox that if you love until it hurts, there can be no hurt, only more love. If you love until it hurts, there could be no more hurt, only more love. Because the more you love, the more you choose love, the more compassion you have for those who are not acting in ways that have deserved love. Because you realize that people who are unkind, people who are impatient, people who are all these other things, people who are the opposite of 1 Corinthians 13, they're in a prison. They are in the opposite of righteousness, peace, and joy. And so as you grow, as you make that choice, the painful choice, to be kind and patient, etc., you grow in compassion toward those other people, and the choice to be kind and patient, etc., becomes more natural. That's what Mother Teresa is getting at. If you love through the difficulty of being kind, of being patient, you get through that, and on the other end of that is compassion, and the love, the patience, the kindness, etc., becomes the natural response to those things to which the human spirit doesn't naturally respond with kindness and patience, etc. And that's why I'm saying love is death. Love is death. That's my phrase for today. Love is death. Probably no one will pick it up and run with it, but that's what I'm saying. So let's look at this. Love is patient. And here's what I'm saying, is that if you, in the beginning, if you consciously choose to be patient with somebody where patience is not naturally warranted, what are you doing to yourself? You are killing a little bit of yourself. You are saying, self, you die so that I can be patient to the other person. It's a micro-death. That's my word. I get it. If it ever ends up in the dictionary, it needs to have me in the etymology. Micro-death. If you choose to be kind to somebody where everything inside you is like wanting to be something other than kind, what are you doing to that piece of you inside? You're killing it. You're saying, I am not going to value you. You die for the sake of love today. So, it's a micro-death. So love is death. In fact, Jesus said, greater love has no man than that he died for his friends. And if these people around you, and you're learning to love them, you're dying a little bit every day because you are choosing to kill the human impulses in you that want to be something other than patient and kind and not jealous or boastful or rude or self-seeking, and on like that. And so love is death. So I would say to you, as we close up, today's call to those who want to live is to do a little dying. Get ready to die. There's a movie or is it a military thing or something? I remember hearing the phrase, today is a good day to die. Does that ring a bell with anybody at all? What?
Private Ryan.
Private Ryan? Okay, thank you. See, I knew it was somewhere. Today is a good day to die. I think Jesus would say the same thing. Only the way Jesus wants you to die for people is to live in love, which is dying to yourself daily in kindness and patience and gentleness, all that on. And so, like the scriptures call, Jesus called to you, is to do a little dying to him. Because death is the path to life. Whoever wants to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for me will find it. It is a micro-death to be patient when patience doesn't come out of you. Be kind when kindness isn't natural. And on down the line. And that is exactly the death Jesus is calling us to every day. That grows out of his death for us. We love because he first loved us, John wrote. If anyone says, I love God and hates his brother, he's a liar. For he who does not love his brother whom he has seen cannot love God whom he has not seen. So love is an action. Love is a commitment to God daily. To choose the little micro-deaths that have to happen day after day if we are going to fulfill 1 Corinthians 13 and live in love. If we are going to be patient and kind and not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude, if we're going to not insist on our own way, if we're not going to be irritable or resentful, if we're not going to rejoice when things go wrong, but we're always going to rejoice when truth comes out, if we're going to bear with people, believe in people, hope in people, and endure with people. That's what love is. Jesus loved us, and now we go love other people. Jesus endured death to love us, and now we go endure the micro events of dying to ourselves every day as the way to love Jesus. Let's pray. Father, you loved us first. While we were still sinners, you sent your Son Jesus to die for us, to reconcile us to yourself, to show us that you are kind and patient and generous toward us, that you are not insisting on your own way, or you aren't resentful against our sin, that you're rejoicing in the truth, that you're bearing with us, believing in us, hoping in us, and enduring with us. Father, your love for us never ends. And we know our love is imperfect, but we also know that we are the receivers of your love. That we love because you first loved us. So now I want to ask for everybody here that you teach us how to love. Teach us how to love better, so that we can participate in Jesus' work of bringing the kingdom of God here and bringing people into the kingdom of God, where we can live every day knowing that eternity awaits us, where there's no more sorrow, sickness, suffering, pain, and death. And we ask that in Jesus' name. Amen. So, two things. I have, Matthew's going to come up and play a song for us while we take a little time to think, because we don't want to just be hearers of the word, we want to be doers. So here's what we're going to do. During Matthew's song, it's going to be a time to pray and reflect and meditate. You are free to get up and walk around. Definitely bring your offerings and prayer cards up to the altar. You can talk quietly. It won't be rude. Matthew's expecting the kind of activity that happens during the break. And then I want to give you 3 points to ponder. One is there an aspect of love that was not listed in 1 Corinthians 13? And you'll have a copy of that. It's on a sheet. Because I think that 1 Corinthians 13 is descriptive, not prescriptive. There might be other things that are part of this love that we need to live out. So that's worth thinking about. Number 2, which aspect of love comes easily for you and which one not so much? And then number 3, is there a particular person or situation which needs your repentance today with regard to love? And then the second thing is, I always want to send you home with something practical for the week. So I worked up this little sheet this week called Growing in Love, and you can pick up a copy here, and it'll also go out with the email. And it has a chance for you to reflect on those various aspects or attributes of love and kind of rate yourself. There's a scale of 1 to 7 that goes from yikes to yuck. Trying to keep a light touch here. And then it's got a prayer, and it's just a chance. I encourage you for this week to make this week a week you reflect on whether or not you are really living out the love of Christ in your life. Because Jesus said, not everybody who says to me, Lord, Lord, enters the kingdom, but those who do. And what I want for you is righteousness and peace and joy. And you're going to get that by following Christ. You're going to follow Christ by loving other people, and this is a reflection for yourself on whether or not you are loving other people and following Christ this week. So I encourage you to do this every night. Just take 2 or 3 minutes. It's very, very short. You can